What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and of course, we typically feature a beer of the week. I am Matt. With me, as always, is Lauren. If this is your first time to the show, please go ahead, like, subscribe, share, drop a review, all of that stuff. That is how the podcast grows. And you can find us by searching as Hops Geek News, of course, on all of those things. And then, if this is also your first time on the show, we like to dive into what we've been drinking first. If anything, we fix our mistakes from the previous week because we stay humble on this show. Go ahead and with what we've been messed up on, and then we dive into what we've been reading or watching lately before we hit some news, and then finally our main topic, which our main topic today is Supernatural Season 8, Part 2, so episodes 11 through the finale. Don't know how much I remember at this point because I watched it a little while ago. Lauren's going to do her best to refresh my memory, and we're going to chat some of that. But my beer, or maybe not necessarily beer of the week, because this is not really a beer, but it comes from Superstition Session Meadery out of Arizona. Actually, it's carbonated strawberry mead with vanilla and lactose. It's a handcrafted session mead. I chose it because of the name Superstition, right? We're talking supernatural. It's cool looking, I guess. You know, my wife picked it up. It's got honey, strawberry, vanilla, lactose. It's 6%. I don't know how I feel about it. It's looks like it's wine or maybe Kool-Aid or something like that. But
oh yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that. But anyways, Lauren, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a beer called Shell Shock. It is an imperial stout with pecans, fudge, caramel, and vanilla at 10%. It is brewed and canned by Martin House Brewing Company. Oh yeah, I should have known
Oh
from the
yeah,
logo.
we like
So
them.
this is the one that's done like the Murky Mouse and the Wolverine and the Thing and whatnot. I didn't even realize that, but it's a Ninja Turtle beer, and so I'm going to incorporate Supernatural into this. But we've done so many Supernatural episodes; it's hard to do everyone themed, and I do have one family business left, but I'm saving it for I don't know when the Queen comes over. So we have some fun news about
when the
Ninja
Queen.
Turtle.
Who's the Queen?
Like the Queen of England. Oh, we don't
Oh,
have.
wow. She's dead.
It's a Friends reference. What are you saving these dishes for when the Queen comes over?
No.
But in Supernatural, there are two phenomenal Ninja Turtle references that I love. One of them is when they talk about the angel Raphael, and Dean calls him a Teenage Mutant Ninja Angel. And the other one, you have not met Donatello yet, but when they meet Donatello goes, "I'm named after him," and Dean goes, "The Ninja Turtle."
I mean, anything could
even
be
tried this
brought
yet.
back to Supernatural if you try hard enough, right?
Yes,
That
but oh
that
my gosh,
looks delicious. I mean, a good stout. I might have to switch over here soon because I don't know how I feel about this drink I'm drinking. I just picked it for the name, and it's kind of sweet. But anyways, that's neither here
this is
nor
sweet.
there. It's
It
good.
smells sweeter than it tastes, though, which is good because I got a little concerned when I sniffed it.
Ooh, well, I haven't
But yeah,
really been in a mood for beer lately. Anyways, I think something's wrong with me. I've been sick, and then
uh,
I don't know, just weird. But
well, I
anyways.
the weekend at Tortuga with no good beer, so
Oh, that's right. You drank a Corona this weekend.
I drank a Corona. I
And I
tried
didn't even
tried
get any Fast and Furious type videos or even like a picture of the Corona with a Fast and Furious quote. Like I'm a little let down judging by how often I quote Fast and Furious in my day-to-day life.
I made a TikTok and I was the, Tortuga, you can have any beer you want
That's
as long
true.
as it's
I am proud of you for that. That's right.
I'm intentionally trolling Tortuga because in the past they've had Funky Buddha. They no longer own Funky Buddha, but like, come on, your
Oh
only
yeah.
beer option is Corona. Seriously? In the past,
Yeah.
before they bought Funky Buddha, they had Modelo, which I would have been okay with that. But I mean, I was drinking espresso martinis on the beach, but we did find a great little new bar in Beach Place called Fort Lickerdale, which I think is a ridiculous name. My parents called Fort Lauderdale that, but they had live music. And as soon as I saw the two tap handles from Three Sons Brewing at the bar, I got very excited. So then I got 4 or 5 juicy IPAs before we went to bed. So then I was happy.
Before you went to nothing like a few IPAs to put me to sleep for the night.
We all drink we always bring electrolytes and we drink them on the walk back to the hotel.
Smarter than me. Smarter than me. I went to a little beer fest this past weekend. It was Virginia Beer Company's 8th anniversary beer festival.
Oh.
It wasn't so great. They had very limited beer options. They would, of course, it's their 8th anniversary bash. I mean, it was like their beer is decent. It's good. But the only thing is like they had a lot more to do for kids than adults. Adults, you just kind of was expected to stand around like, okay, but I don't know. I'm not going to bash them because I like them as a brewery. The festival itself was just kind of like so. There is a craft beer festival coming up here at the end of the month. I think I'm gonna try to do on the 27th. We'll see how that goes. But aside from that, let's go into what we've been reading or watching lately. If you follow us on nerdinitiative.com, each and every week at 9 a.m. Tuesday for DC and 9 a.m. Wednesday for everything else, we've been dropping some reviews, doing a lot of cool things. There's a lot of cool things happening over there. I have read Miss Marvel Mutant Menace #2. This one kind of sees Kamala go to a familiar foe's domain, Mojo. If you've been watching X-Men 97, she goes there. It was kind of like a so-so issue. Iman Vellani is, one of the writers for it, but she's doing a great job writing. I think it's just the comic book overall probably isn't really for me, even though I
Is
like Miss Marvel.
this was
What?
the first issue, or this is the one that's been going on that she's done?
No, this is a new series she started. This is the
Oh,
second issue
okay.
of the
'Cause
series, like
I started reading the other one from a few months ago, but I don't
oh,
think
I
anything
have
has
read
been.
that one. That one's good. This one is a whole new run that they're doing. Aside
Gotcha.
from that, I read Batman: The First Night from, Dan Jurgens, the writer for that, and that one's pretty good. It's, takes us back to the 30s of Batman, his kind of origin there. There's no Alfred, and it's very cool getting to see a
Oh.
Batman in this different alternate timeline where he's got the purple gloves, man, and he's battling like this gang and Commissioner Gordon's. They have a relationship with each other, and again, Bruce doesn't have Alfred, so he's kind of doing this on his own. He's a very much a Batman who's getting his butt whooped left and right. He's got to escape. He steals the Commissioner Gordon's car at one point, and yeah, overall, it's a very well written, very well drawn comic book. And then the last thing that I've been reading or watching, aside from X-Men 97, I have been watching that, but we've talked that on our live Cantina Hour with Janelle from Nerd Initiative, and Uncanny Valley, which is from Boom Studios. Uh, very Tony Fleeks and Dave Watcher. I always say his last name wrong. I apologize. I know I heard it pronounced for the first time ever this week, and it's not how I've been saying it. So I apologize to Dave. But it's this world where this kid Oliver, he is things are happening at school, like a tray caught on fire, or these kids when they start off, it feels like a Stand By Me introduction where the kids are in the
Mhm.
woods, they go to jump off a bridge, and the kids get pushed and they break their legs, and this kid gets expelled because things have been happening. And he's like, I swear it's not me, mom. Like weird things have been happening. Well, all of a sudden, a bunch of birds burst through the windows. They look very, I didn't really know much going into this comic, and those birds look very cartoonish. And I was like, what's going on here? This is cool. It's like a mashup of arts because you got like this realistic style artwork versus this cartoonish art. And then in bursts his grandpa, and it's very much Percy Jackson where the mom was hiding something from the son, but the grandpa burst in. He's about 2 feet tall, Yosemite Sam looking guy, straight from Looney Tunes, and he's like, "I'm here," and
Were his biscuits
things.
burning?
I don't know, but like he's got the revolver and everything. There's a car chase scene where the birds are following him. He's got the gun out the window. It's really cool, very great. Like what if cartoons came to real life? And it was a very, very well done comic book for a first issue from Boom. So make sure you're checking that out. And then, like I said, X-Men 97. I have been playing the hell out of Helldivers for anybody out there fighting
Ooh.
for democracy. That's what we've been doing, man. We pushed back the automatons. They came back with fierce vengeance. They're kicking our asses up and down the near Super Earth there. And I've just been playing a lot of video games between work and working out and all that kind of good jazz. So, Lauren, what
Oh,
have
good
you been doing?
jazz. I reviewed two comics this week, both of them Wolverine based. The first one is Weapon X-Men. If you are an X-Men fan, if you are a Wolverine fan, if you are a fan of Marvel, or if you're a fan of anything fun, I highly recommend this comic. This was the second issue. Writer Christos Gage, artist, I'm gonna butcher the name. The last name is Cinar. It is so fucking good. So basically, Phoenix comes and she's like, hey, she picks these specific Wolverines to come and save like the multiverse because a certain character whose name I don't want to reveal too much, is destroying the multiverse. And the Wolverine she picks, one is Old Man Logan from the Old Man Logan
Ooh,
run. Yeah. One is Jane Howlett, which is, I think, brand new. She's
yeah,
from like
that's definitely
early
sounding new, right? Yeah.
yeah, she's from the early 1900s. Oh my god, I love her. Every freaking line she has is fantastic. Then there's a Wolverine that's really tragic. He looks out of shape, he's overweight
An
and
out
his
of shape, overweight Wolverine. Is that possible?
yeah, so what happened was something happened with Cyclops. Jean and Wolverine actually got together, but Jean lost her powers. And so he
Okay.
took like a anti-mutant serum so he could grow old with her and he wouldn't have powers, and it backfired, and they just got I ruined that a little bit. But I'm loving seeing the backgrounds of these. Most of them come from other stories, and like they're at the end, there's always like a reference sheet. Like if you want to read more, this is where these Wolverines come from. And though there's also a zombie Wolverine, and he's so funny. But Gene has done something to make it so he doesn't need human flesh to survive. But then he like
Interesting.
makes jokes about it's really funny. And then they go to different multiverses and then they see like another Logan and they're like, what the hell? Why did this Logan get this? And this is my life. And it's so much fun because it's such a great combination of story and all these different characters. And at no point is it confusing. And the art is fantastic. And I cannot say enough good things about it. So Weapon X-Men, definitely read. It's only 2 issues in. The other one I read is the ongoing Wolverine series. It's on issue 47. We're in the Sabretooth War, we're on part 7 of 10. It's still fantastic, but the Sabretooth War, we've gotten less Wolverine and well, more Sabretooth. But it's still great. I mean, I love that as well. And I did read Thrawn Alliances. It wrapped up a 4-issue run, which was based on the book, but I feel like they didn't actually finish the book because I read the book and I
Interesting.
felt like there was more, but it ended with the end question mark. So I don't know if it's just like a business thing. They just have to make sure enough people are buying it. But there's
Probably, I imagine so,
yeah,
yeah.
there's 3 novels in one. They wrapped up the first novel in 1 comic, this novel in 4, not really. And then there's one more novel, so we'll see what they do. I did watch X-Men 97. Like you said, we already talked about that. You can find that on our YouTube. And Invincible. Oh my God, the finale for season 2. Invincible. I cannot
Right.
believe that you haven't gotten on the Invincible
I don't
train.
know what it is, man. I just couldn't get into it when it first came out. I tried to read it a little, wasn't
You
jiving
have
with
to
it.
get through the first trade back to really fall in love with it. But you already know the surprise.
I know it all happened. Yeah, I mean, I know kind of the story and everything that happens and whatnot. It just didn't pull me in really, which is weird because I'm a big fan of the boys, and I love comic books and I love action and I love heroes and I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
it's weird.
It is weird. I think you should give it another try because the last 4 issues I think were the best that they've been, and the very last scene of issue of episode 8, I'm like fingers crossed, like praying that Nolan says the line. I'm like, please say the line. This is the storyline I want. Please say the line. And he said the line at the
Okay.
very last part, and I was like, I was waiting for it. I love him. I love Robert Kirkman. Everything I've read of, I mean, I've only read The Walking Dead, Oblivion Song, and Invincible.
I mean, that's a pretty good sample size.
Yeah, I should read Firepower. So when Firepower first came out, I read the first issue, and my comic book guy's like, "Oh, this is Robert Kirkman, so I put it in your box." And I was like, "Eh, it didn't really speak to me. It seemed like it was more for like, I don't know, maybe like a younger audience, maybe." But then I see a lot of people reading it now, and I'm like, maybe I should have just not said that and kept reading it because I've heard really good things about
Yeah,
it.
no, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But I listened today to Sean from Metalcore Nerd's interview with
Yeah,
Robert
get the
Kirkman, and
Kirkman
they were
on. Yeah.
yeah, they mentioned Oblivion Song, which is one I would love to see as a TV or movie.
Oh,
That's
same.
a shorter run. I think there's only like 30 something issues of Oblivion Song, so I feel like whereas like Invincibles, they have an insane amount of
Right.
stuff to go from.
Uh
But
I did start all of 5 minutes of the Fallout TV series on Amazon Prime. Oblivion Song made me think of Fallout. I never really played the games, which is weird because they seem right up my alley. But so far, like the show, it's getting a lot of praise. So more to come. I'll probably talk about that next time. I think it might be something you would like the show. It's like a post nuclear Fallout kind of era, but it's not Oblivion Song. It just made me think of it.
right
But
until I
I think you might
finish
like.
reading Dune, I can't do anything.
That's true. That's fair. So let's roll into some news. We have the Hive Mind are returning with a big comic book. It's called NYX. It's kind of how it's spelled. It's 5 mutants alone in the big city. And it's kind of about it's Miss Marvel is led. They got a couple other mutants. It's how they are living in this world as mutants, getting through life essentially. And like I said, the Hive Mind, Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly. So it's going to be an absolute banger right off that. They're doing so many good things. And then Jean Grey is coming back as Phoenix in July as well. Big month for Marvel, July. Stephanie Phillips is going to be writing that one
Well,
with Phoenix.
these 3 though are the Marvel cartoons coming out.
Wait, there's cartoons?
Yeah, new Marvel cartoons. NYX 5, Jean Grey's Phoenix, X Force. These all come out July 2024.
Oh, Oh,
I'm
well, you threw
surprised
it in
you
my
did.
news. I didn't know that.
I
Well,
did throw it in your news because I thought you'd be more excited than me.
I am excited. I thought, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know
I
it was
was
cartoons because the Hive Mind are writing these books, and Stephanie Phillips is writing a Phoenix book. So I thought that's what it
Oh,
was.
how
That's, yeah,
funny. I wonder if that's why.
that's crazy, huh? Well, surprise. There's cartoon coming too. Big month, like I said, for Marvel this summer. All right. Lego stores in the United States and Canada are now providing a sensory bag for neurodivergent visitors. The bag will have headphones, glasses that reduce bright lighting, fidget tools, visual cue cards, and a lanyard letting employees know, which is pretty cool because if you've ever been to a Lego store, they can get really packed, really overwhelming. And hey, man, Legos are for everybody and everyone. And so I think it's pretty cool that more stores are kind of taking into account people that have needs like that. I know I get a lot of social anxiety myself, so it's pretty sweet. Star Wars dropped a trailer for Tales of the Empire, which releases May 4th on Disney Plus. It is shot in Clone Wars style animation. Um, dude, 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 what?
Dude.
Barris is back. She's becoming an Inquisitor. If you know her story, I'm very interested to see how Lord Vader takes this and what that's going to lead down. We get some Thrawn animation in Clone Wars. It looks really freaking dope, man. I am really excited for that. Can't wait to cover that. There's an R-rated TMNT in the works that came out from the Cinecon out there in Vegas from this week, and Paramount announced a lot of really cool stuff. But yeah, first and foremost, there's a R-rated TMNT probably taking after the last Ronin storyline, and I'm pretty pumped for that. I mean, a lot of fans have been asking for this kind of thing. I'm interested to see how it goes over. I hope it does really well when it does come out. So, guess we'll keep our minds on that. Monarch has a season 2 in the works at Apple TV. If you know anything about Monarch Legacy, it's or Legacy of Monsters, excuse me. It takes place with Kurt and Wyatt Russell. It takes place right after Godzilla 2014, and they are also going to be doing spin-off shows of that within the Monsterverse. I will watch anything and everything Monsterverse first and foremost, so I'm in the bag for this. But Monarch Legacy of Monsters season 1 was very, very good. Keep your eyes for that one. And then there is a Heroes reboot. If you're like me and you loved
Hesitant here.
Heroes, man, Heroes season 1 is some of the best television ever made. The writer strike really killed it, and it just went downhill. They tried a reboot. They tried like a spin-off series. It didn't work out, so now they're going to be trying it again. I hope it works because I loved season 1 of Heroes. Hayden Panettiere, Milo, I can never pronounce his last name. So many good actors and actresses in that. It was such a good, well done show that I'm cautiously optimistic. And that's all the news I have.
Actually, I think you're right. I think it was Marvel Comics, not Marvel cartoons. I was gonna say there's no way I knew about this and you didn't.
It's definitely got to be the
It's the
comics.
comics. I was wrong.
Well, look at
I was
that. We
like, oh,
fixed
that
our own
looks like
mistakes right
them.
here. And I was very confused. I was like, wait a
Well,
second.
you
That's
didn't have a
weird.
mistake. I just had a mistake.
Well, hey, you know what? We're a team. Your mistakes are my mistakes, and we fixed
Womp,
them.
womp,
Look at that.
womp. All right. So my news: Ghost Machine comic had a triple sellout with Geiger, Rook, Exodus, and Redcoat. If you want to know more about those, they did get all rushed back to print to get more. If you want to know more about those, that was our episode last week. Doesn't really surprise me. Like the fact that I was in Puerto Rico talking to a guy that owned a brewery there and he knew about the comics. Like clearly they're going around.
Yeah.
Tron 3 will be out October 10th, 2025. Toy Story 5 will be out June 19th, 2026. The live action Moana, July 10th, 2026. And then, are you a Mad Max fan?
I'm
I'm never gonna do it.
lukewarm on it. I thought Fury Road was decent. I'm not going to rush to theaters to see Furiosa when it comes out, even though Chris Hemsworth is in it, but I'm eh.
Well, if you do want to go, it will be out May 24th. So
Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend.
It's weird. That's another movie that I should be fully invested in. But here I am. I'm weird. I don't know why. Because that's right up my alley again. I don't know. I'm weird.
I mean, we all have our things that we like and don't like. The Mummy's coming back to theaters to celebrate their 25th anniversary.
Wow, 25 years? Why did we do that? You didn't have to say 25 years.
In math
I
is
saw
weird.
somebody that I'm in charge of coming in, and their birth date was 2005, and I wanted to throw myself out the window.
It's the year Supernatural started.
Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned the live action R-rated Ninja Turtles. That was where I
Yes.
got the inspiration for my beer tonight.
Holla.
The Mandalorian and Grogu movie will be out May 22nd, 2026. I feel like that's so far away.
Yeah.
Daredevil Born Again has wrapped filming. July 31st, we're getting a comic book that comes out where Donald Duck, it's What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine? So it's going to be loosely based on Old Man Logan, where it's in the future and it's the wastelands and there's no superheroes. And then Hawkeye shows up and it's Mickey Mouse. But also, one thing that's going to be very different is Goofy shows up and he's Hulk, whereas in Old Man Logan, the gamma radiation poisons Hulk, and Hulk like eats Wolverine, and then Wolverine has to like cut himself out of him. It's a whole thing. And The Boys season 4 is done. Eric Kripke has announced that. We already have a date for that, June 13th. I'm just very excited. So I thought I'd reiterate that piece of information. And one last piece of information: Margot Robbie is developing a live action movie based on Monopoly.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's probably going to last forever.
I don't want to trash it because like her Barbie movie is amazing and Margot Robbie, like anything she touches is great. But do we really need a Monopoly? Like, is it just going to be everybody fighting over what Luxury Row or whatever? I haven't played Monopoly
Over
in a minute.
Boardwalk? I want the
Yeah,
shoe.
Boardwalk. I
I have
Yeah,
no
I'm
idea.
very curious. Is it going to be like the Barbie movie and stuff where it's very much hyper aware of the universe that it's in, or I don't know. I guess none of us really know because there's no details yet, but
Nope.
eh, I don't know about that.
Time will
Well,
tell.
it will. Anyways, folks, we are going to move on to Supernatural, our main topic. We'll be back in just a moment. Catch you in some jiff. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Like I said, we are going to be talking Supernatural Season 8, Part 2, Episodes 11 through the finale. First things first, Episode 11 is LARP and the Real Girl. After a weird death that seems almost medieval, the boys end up in the world of Moondor and learn what LARPing is, although they did actually learn this before. However, they're going to act surprised because plot
Yeah,
ado with all
yeah.
that.
I feel like that's something they would intentionally pretend like they did not remember.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
without a
"Oh, you
doubt.
guys are
Especially Dean.
LARPing." Yeah.
Bunch of nerds, bunch of virgins. What are you doing?
God, sounds like Josh.
I know. They run into Charlie, who has made a new life there and is queen of one of the four parties. Sam then finds other suspicious injuries and deaths that appear medieval. Come to find out, one of the LARPers had a fairy under his control. I actually do remember this episode, funny enough,
Well,
because
because this
any
one's a
episode that has
fantastic one.
Charlie, well, I mean,
Yeah,
anytime Charlie's involved, for some reasons, those ones are more memorable to me. And it
that's
was the
fair.
guy he had like, yeah, because they were in the room or whatever, and he was trying to like kill Charlie, and he was like that little scrawny nerdy kid.
And if
But
the tents are rocking, don't come a knocking.
yes, there was Charlie also I think is so memorable because she always has fun quips. She's just like quirky, quippy,
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. So the title is a nod to Lars and the Real Girl, which stars Ryan Gosling. During the scene in the tent where Sam uses a computer, the game Dragon Age 2 from 2011 can be seen being played a couple of times. Specifically, it's the part of the game where character Talus, voiced by Felicia Day, shows up. I didn't realize that she actually played that voice. Charlie, whose real name is Celeste Middleton, has taken on two different aliases on the show. One, Charlie Bradbury, and the other, Carrie Heinlein, which Heinlein and Bradbury are the surnames for well-known deceased science fiction authors Robert A. Heinlein and Ray Bradbury, which is extra awesome because Felicia Day herself is a huge sci-fi nerd and even hosting a panel with River Song at MegaCon called Women in Sci-Fi. Yeah, this was fun because, Dean and Sam get dressed up in their LARPing outfits. They do have a little fun in this episode, even though they don't like to admit it. And yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun. And there's an outtake where Jensen actually trips and falls. And in the outtake, like Sam goes from Sam to Jared in like 0.5 seconds and pretends like he's stabbing him while he's on the floor. And I guess it was Jensen's idea to wear the long hair. But I loved all the, you got a lot of Princess Bride and Star Wars and
Oh yeah.
have
Because
fun
doesn't
storming
he
the
quote
castle.
the "You killed my father" in this episode?
No, that's the one where he's a demon.
Oh, you're right.
I
You're
love that
right.
one. He's like, "What did you think you were gonna do? Just stroll up here?" It's one of my favorite scenes.
I do
No, but
remember that one.
I think Charlie says, "Have fun storming the castle" or something.
It was a good episode. It's very tongue in cheek. I like my favorite Supernatural episodes are the non-serious ones like this. So
Same. But I feel like the show wouldn't be like, you can't have them all fun, so
Oh,
it's nice
yeah,
to go back and
obviously.
forth. Yeah.
That's what the show
Yeah.
does really well. I say it every time we talk Supernatural. It's very much a nice blend of serious, okay, let's things a step back, for example, and then go serious again. Now,
Yeah.
what else do you have about this episode?
That's it. No, and
Because I
and,
told you I
they're good like that.
don't remember a whole lot at this point. It's been a while since I've watched this. I'm finally about to wrap up season 10 sometime, allegedly. And episode 12, as time goes by, Henry, Sam, and Dean's grandfather falls through a closet running away from Abaddon, who ends up kidnapping Sam. She's after the key to the Men of Letters bunker. Henry teaches them the Devil's Trap bullet trick. Yes, because this is how they kill Abaddon. They initially kill her. They shoot her with
And
the
subdue her.
bullet and it gets stuck. Yes. And I remember him. He's the Men of Letters. It's that starts off in like the old time, and
Yeah.
she's trying to break through, and then he goes in the closet and comes out, and then hijinks
I
ensue. He
really liked
basically
it.
sacrifices himself at the end or whatever, doesn't he?
For his grandsons, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is the right episode. See, maybe I do remember a little more than I give myself credit for.
I really liked Henry. I wish we had gotten more of him. And I feel like, I mean, obviously they introduced the Men of Letters bunker, and that lasts through the end of the show. So that becomes their home base because they don't have Bobby's place anymore or anything. But
Yeah.
it was so fun to see, like, okay, he didn't abandon Dad. Okay, this makes sense. Like, why? I don't know if you met Cupid, the naked guy.
Yeah. Because don't they go to there's a episode, isn't it? They're Sam and Cass are searching for Cupid, right? And they thought it was like the woman, but then they're in that bar and the
Oh, I
two
think
guys.
that's it. Okay, so there's more than one Cupid. So that's a Cupid.
Oh,
So there's an
okay.
episode where there's a naked Cupid.
Oh,
Um, but there you find out it makes more sense without ruining more. It makes more sense as to why John and Mary ended up together because they have the hunting on one side and the Men of Letters on the other, and combine those two powers.
yeah.
And you can
That
stop the
makes
devil.
sense. Well, why don't you give us some fun facts?
So this title is a nod to a song from Casablanca, which I do not like that movie. I think it's stupid. This is not the first time we see the Men of Letters symbol. It was actually on Mary's charm bracelet when Dean went back in time. As Henry is flipping through John's journal, an image of a skeleton-like creature is shown. This is actually the logo used for the Rogue Dead Guy ale. So this
Oh,
was a fun fact I came across, but like I always just thought that was
like
obviously
a
we knew
myth?
that. No, I know.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know what exactly. I've never like researched it. Maybe that would be fun to like go into the origin of that. We'd have to get some Rogue Dead ale though to do that episode.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny that it was a fun fact. Apparently, in this where Jensen's sleeping, he had actually fallen asleep. And so when they wake him up, that's like a genuine reaction to him being woken up. And then I love though that Dean calls Henry 007 like he's going to have any clue as to
Yeah,
who
he
the
has
hell
no
007
idea
is.
at all.
And then I also love that he picked the Impala to steal or attempt to steal.
He's like,
Imagine if
that's
it
our
were
car.
What's funny is this guy was only in this episode and he goes to conventions. So there are some
Oh,
characters that
really?
really like hit home that people just love that end up going
Well, no,
to
he was
conventions.
awesome. I thought he was very
Yeah.
charismatic. He was a really good actor too, I thought. And he's also important, man. That's their grandfather. Like Men of Letters, he's also vastly
Yeah.
important to the story because from this kind of point on, he's the reason why they have their bunker and where they go hide for the rest of the show, which I would live in that bunker. That bunker's dope as fuck.
Yeah, it is pretty
It's like a
it is great.
never-ending room after room after room, and it's pretty feng shui, man.
I know. We never even get to see all of the bunker.
Oh,
I feel like it's
really?
like the
There's still more?
TARDIS. Well, it's like we never gotten a tour of the TARDIS.
That's true. You're right. It is definitely bigger on the inside from when you're like outside the bunker. You're like, there's nothing there. And then it's just like endless room after room. And there's scenes where Demon Dean's chasing Sam throughout the bunker. And it just seems like it goes on forever with all the hallways
Yeah.
and the doors and the rooms.
Well, and then you always see like the Impala parked outside of the bunker. It's like they have a fucking garage filled with numerous cars and motorcycles, and they're just
Well,
parking baby
who
outside.
brought the furniture to this place? Because they have like really nice beds and tables. Like,
Yeah, they have
it's a
memory
secret
foam from
place.
the 50s.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
didn't
Like
have
it's a secret base, but yet there's moving trucks outside bringing stuff in.
I think some of them, maybe it's like spell work or something. I don't know. Probably not.
Well, the Men of Letters weren't magic, So I don't
No,
know.
they knew magic though. Did you meet
Oh,
the
you're right. You're right. I guess.
Okay, so in a future episode when he has the blade and they meet the one Men of Letters guy who wanted the whole bunker
Yeah, that's right.
cleaned.
It's that magical house. Yeah, I
Yeah, so
do.
there
Yeah.
are more things, and then in season 15, you meet or you find out something that, like, the bunker's not even running at full capacity. So
Ah.
that's one of my favorite episodes from 15.
Huh.
But, okay, so Everybody Hates Hitler, did you know that?
I did. Is this the one where it starts with Dean in a military uniform? Is it the throwback, or am I thinking of a different episode?
Yeah, oh, he's in a military outfit in more than one, but
I know I
yes, this
really
is the
narrowed it down there.
oh, no, this is not that one. This is the one with
Oh, okay.
Adam Rose. So we meet Adam Rose for the first time in this, right? Or is
Oh,
this the second time? So during World War II, an SS officer survived the slaughter of his men and everyone around by a golem. Rabbi Isaac
got him.
Bass spontaneously combusts in a pub, or to present day now, spontaneously combusts in a pub after locating the Nazi diary, but managed to send a message to his grandson Aaron, who is played by Adam Rose. He is the guy with the cardigan on TikTok that does the really funny
Oh, I remember
episodes.
this. He was controlling the golem.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the brothers are investigating the arson themselves, and they become targets of the Nazi necromancer.
Oh. Well, the
Necromancer
idea of a
sounds like
golem is a manipulable soldier made out of magically animated mud or clay created to protect Jewish folk during pogroms.
mm,
Okay. Or other times of anti Semitism, actually a part of European Jewish folklore and mythology. The earliest known written description of a golem creation dates from the late 1100s or early 1200s. The most famous version of the golem myth comes from 16th century Prague, where a rabbi named Judah Lo ben Bezalel was fabled to have created a golem to protect Prague's Jewish folk from pogroms. The
programs
vast
are to wreak havoc or to demolish violently.
ah
The Russian word.
Interesting. The vast majority of Jewish scholars, even strictly Orthodox ones, see the golem story as a piece of allegorical folklore and not something to be taken seriously in a religious context. The golem is the ghost of a Freeman Daggett in Ghost Facers. He was the guy who brought corpses home and killed their friend.
It's the
Yeah, I
same
remember
actor.
this one. The same actor, yes. I do
Yeah.
remember this one. I liked it. It wasn't like overly memorable, but I remember there was that whole sequence in the house at the end where the golem turns on the guy and they kill
Mhm.
him, and then the golem like doesn't die or disappears or something like that because the golem comes out of him at a point, right?
It comes out of him.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I thought like the golem came out of the guy at a point, or like he manifested somehow, but I
So the
don't
bad
remember.
guy comes in and they like because so the problem is Aaron had the instructions on how to use the golem, but he decided to use them as rolling papers because they were nice and thin.
Oh
And
yeah,
now that he needs, which I thought was hilarious, now that he needs the instructions, he doesn't have them, and so the bad guys like reprogram the golem to be on their side.
that's
But one
right.
of the fun facts from this is so the scene where they're burning the Nazi guy, and like they have just met Aaron, and so Jared was told, "Oh, it's a cold night or whatever." So that's why he's warming his hands on the corpse of the dead Nazi, and
Oh.
that's when Aaron's like, "These guys are psychopaths."
Yeah, I don't have many things from that one. I do remember this next episode, Trial and Error, episode 14, where the boys have settled into the bunker. However, Kevin has found out that in order to close the gates of hell, the person needs to accomplish three tasks. First is to kill a hellhound. And then the Winchesters then meet a lovely family on a farm in Idaho who had met Crowley 10 years prior. And Sam ends up killing the hellhound. And so he must now continue the trials. And Lauren thinks that Dean looks hot in glasses. I second this. Dean has the hellhound
It's like
glasses
I like how
on.
you didn't just read the note. Yes, he
I'll
looks
always read
good
the prompter, folks. Yes, it actually, funny enough, is in Idaho, is where this farm is. And they think like they pulled a rich family into the house and they're all arguing and they hate each other's guts. And they're like, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you people? And how did you get rich and all this other stuff? And come to find out, the farmhand basically needed it for her mom who was sick. And she made the deal with Crowley 10 years prior, and Crowley has now come to collect. And yeah, the glasses allow them to see the hellhounds, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
that was
all.
really
That's
cool.
kind of all I have on that one. Like I just thought it was a good like good episode, especially because like the amount of vileness that was coming from the family. You're like actively rooting for them all to just die. And
Right.
meanwhile, Dean's getting his bones jumped by the girl, and that's when he kind of puts two and two together. He's like, this is great. But wait a second.
Oh shit, because she's acting like this is my last night on Earth, and like,
Yes, and
that's
that's
his
why.
line. Yeah. So there is a funny outtake from this episode where Jensen, he has to make stupid faces because when you're about to have your soul taken to hell, like we saw with Dean, you start to see things, and so she starts seeing Dean almost look like demony. And so there is an outtake where Jensen is making the faces like "Rah," and he stops and he goes, looks at the camera and he goes, "I can hear you laughing."
These shows got to be so much fun to make because you're like so unserious about the things that you have to do.
I mean, if you watch, they have a fantastic gag reels every freaking season, and it's always like, how do they get anything done? Like, there are times where Misha will be like, "Is Jared being restrained? Jared's taking his pants off. Can you stop?" Like, he's like, "You don't see what he's doing with my crotch right now."
Well, it's like three dudes just having fun on set, man. I don't know.
I
I
think
do
it's
it
also
too.
why this show lasted so long. They
Oh
enjoyed
yeah,
doing it.
the chemistry, and that's why, yeah, like you just said, they enjoyed doing it. I mean, it's a big part of their lives for so long. Jensen had the chance; he could have left any time to do like Marvel movies. He
He
auditioned
was
for some.
offered. I think he was offered Hawkeye in
Yeah,
film.
he had a chance, and
He
they
actually
were
would have.
supernatural.
I feel like he would have been a pretty cool Hawkeye. It would have been a very different version of
Oh
Hawkeye.
yeah, would have been very interesting, but I'm down for it. Now, episode 15, Man's Best Friend with Benefits. James Frampton, an old friend of Sam and Dean, has become a witch and is having nightmares about killing people. He also has a familiar, and familiars are humans that turn into the animals, and James is sleeping with his familiar.
Just
However,
so
a lot of the witch community does not like this, just an FYI. Turns out somebody else
really.
is manipulating James into doing these things, and he has no control. Yeah,
What
she
do you
was
mean
like,
the witch community doesn't like this?
wasn't it like frowned upon and all that? That's why
Oh,
they're
I
after him?
I thought you meant in. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I thought you meant in general. I was like, "Wait, what? I've never heard
No,
this
in
before. Tell
the
me about more about
no,
the witch." Okay, in the show. Yeah,
what do
yeah,
you
yeah.
know about this? No, in the show, yeah, like, it was frowned upon, and they were trying to keep it a secret or something like that, and
Yeah.
they yeah, okay,
I
and
like that Dean
she ends up
keeps wanting
dying, doesn't she? Or he
no,
dies?
no, they both survive because remember they drive off and she's all hot and gets in the front seat, and then as she drives away,
Oh,
she's a dog.
yeah, yeah, I remember now, yeah, it's all weird, like, what?
It's such a weird episode. It's weirder than that one where the guy is I forget what he's called, where he's, like, protecting the family, but he's their dog,
Oh,
but he's like
yeah, it's way weirder than that one because at least they're not banging their dog.
yeah, and I love how Dean keeps wanting to ask questions, and Sam's like, you have to stop."
I mean, I would don't fault Dean. I would very much I have so many questions. If you weren't in the process of being hunted down, I have a lot to ask you.
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
I
he
like
was a cop, wasn't he?
yeah, he was a cop.
Okay, yeah, that's the other thing. He was a cop, and like they were they like signs were pointing towards him, and the cops were working with other witches, and they were going after him or something like that, right?
They were, like, setting him up so that like, his boss could get promoted or
I
something
do
like that.
so
That's
far.
what it
I'm on a
is.
roll right now,
You are
man.
on a roll.
I'm impressing myself.
Good, I'm glad. Well, I mean, this is a great season, it's got some great episodes. So the
Agreed.
building facade used for the Witches Club is the same facade used for Patty's, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's a super fun fact. The cat familiar at the bar is named Philippe Lachat, which means the cat in French, and I loved seeing
Mhm.
that Dean started, like, sneezing around
It's
him.
Le Chat.
But
It's
it's
okay.
funny to see oh, Lachat, my bad.
Yes.
It's funny to see them getting, like, so mad at James for using magic because this is another one of those things that was so black and white for them that later becomes so
Yeah.
gray. Because it's like, I mean, I think they've already started using witchcraft. I mean, they just get more and more into using magic.
Oh.
But I mean, there's white magic and dark magic, but Rowena ain't going away anytime soon.
Nope. Why don't you take us away for the next?
So, episode 16 is Remember the Titans. The Winchesters meet a man who dies every day, and he has no idea why. They realize he is Prometheus and then learn he has a son who has also been cursed with this. So, they need to go and find Zeus and talk to Zeus. This one was fun. I actually watched this one with Kaylee, who's big into Greek mythology. So, of course,
Oh
she told
yeah.
me
I
everything they
remember
were doing was
this,
wrong.
but I don't remember it. This is the first one I don't remember too. I remember the dad like dying all the time and they like he keeps getting buried or something like that, but I don't and it turned out that he was a god. But other than that, the details are a little fuzzy.
I mean, that's pretty much it. But like the wife, or not the wife, the mom of the kid saw him on the news or whatever and finds him because all of a sudden her son's now dying every day. And then,
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
yeah. So obviously the title is after the movie with Denzel Washington. Prometheus, the actual god, is best known for defying the Olympian gods by stealing fire from them and giving it to humanity in the form of technology, knowledge, and more generally, civilization. Sam does bring that up, like, oh no, he actually did good things for humans and was punished for it. When the state trooper radios in to report finding the body, that's at the very beginning of the episode, he uses the unit ID 7 Mary 4. On the television show Chips from 1977, 7 Mary 4 was the unit ID for Officer Prank Poncherello, played by Eric Estrada.
Did you ever watch that show?
I didn't, but I know of it.
I've seen like random episodes. It used to play once in a while. Like my dad liked to watch it or something like that. So like, unfortunately, I have seen. They even tried to like make it into a movie at one point with Dax Shepard. I never watched that either, but
I didn't even know that.
yeah, it was. They turned it into a movie at one point. Yep. Like I said, I don't remember too much. I do remember when they were like trying to figure out what's going on with this guy, and then it turns out that he was Prometheus, and they were like, "You could have led with that." And yeah, but other than they ended up battling Zeus, which was kind of cool, I thought, in the sense that hey, Greek gods get to play into it because we get all these other gods involved. So why not, Greek mythology? And yeah, I don't really have much else on this one.
Yeah, I like how they incorporate all of the different stuff. So episode 17, Goodbye Stranger. You want to do that one?
Yeah, Goodbye Stranger. The episode kicks off with Cass killing a bunch of Deans. Sam and Dean hunt down the angel tablet with assistance from Castiel and Meg, but Cass is still being weird because of Naomi. And Meg only helps after they find her chained up because Crowley was using her to try and find the tablet as well. This episode ends with Cass getting the tablet and being unable to kill Dean, thereby breaking the Naomi connection, and Meg dies for her unicorn. Yeah, so I do vividly remember the biggest scene I remember is when Cass is beating the crap out of Dean in like the little dungeon room where the tablet was at. And it's flashing back and forth to when he's in the angel area trying to break control and she's barking at him like, finish the job. And Dean's beating the crap and he's like, no, what do you do? Cass, it's me. It's
Cass,
me.
we need you. We're family.
Yeah. And then he ends up healing Dean, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, he heals Dean before he leaves.
Then he disappears. Yeah. So that's my big takeaway from this is like the whole season, essentially, Cass has been brainwashed by the angels and to get this angel tablet because they have their own agenda going on. And this is where Cass, who is basically, Russian mind controlled, is put to work and almost kills Dean. And then, yeah, like I said, so that's what I remember.
Lots of fun facts with this one, though. When Sam and Dean go to investigate, they talk to a man whose wife was possessed by a demon. The house the man and woman lived in is actually the house Barry Allen grew up in The Flash. What? So Nora Allen was killed in that house. Unreal. We get a shut up Meg bit, of course, which is always great from Family Guy.
Yeah.
When Sam and Dean find Meg tied up in the bathroom, she asks, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? Which is extra funny since they're both over 6 feet tall. But,
dude, Sam's
still fun to get the Star Wars
dude.
reference.
Like...
So the Spear of Destiny that Dean finds in the vault of the Mental Letters is also known as the Holy Lance, the Holy Spear, Lance of Longinus, and
That's
Spear
what they
of
stabbed Jesus with, right?
That is the spear that pierced Jesus in the Gospel of John. My last fun fact, have you ever seen Glengarry Glen Ross?
No.
Okay, so this is a very classic movie. I know you've heard coffee is for closers, cookies is for closers. So Meg says, quote, I haven't exactly been giving them the Glengarry leads, end quote. That is a quote from Glengarry Glen Ross. It's not a great movie, but it's a movie that I remember when I was in law schools, everybody's like, okay, well, if you were a business major, marketing major, and now you're doing, bankruptcy law, like you need to watch this movie. And that's where the coffee is for closers. Put that coffee down. Coffee is for closers.
I don't know why that always makes you think of Boss Baby
because
that's what it's from. Yeah.
Because he's in that movie. Alec Baldwin is the guy that says put that coffee down.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they did a whole bit on SNL, always be cobbling with the elves.
Put that cookie down.
Yeah, so you got they said
different movie, but
Coco. Maybe it's Coco is for closers in that one. In the SNL skit.
I don't. Oh.
Anyway, this is the movie too. You get the Rudy Hobbit line, which I believe you texted me about when you were watching this.
I probably did. Honestly,
like Rudy, it's the Hobbit right. Or Rudy Hobbit. He always gets a pass because.
Samwise Gamgee. Yes, yeah, that's all I kind of remember that one. Let's go to episode 18. Freaks and Geeks. Chrissy's back. Her dad is dead, and a creepy hunter is working with a vampire. tricking these kids into thinking they're getting their revenge. Yeah, this guy is
This one was
basically
gross.
working with this vampire. He's got these kids brainwashed. They go to school. He's like, I'm the perfect dad. And they go out and hunt and kill all other vampires that are encroaching on the one's territory. And that's when Sam and Dean show up. And she's very much like, I don't need you guys, blah, blah, blah. And then lo and behold, he's working with a vampire. Shabba.
Yeah, I like him in this. I mean, there's not really many fun facts or notes to say about
I don't really have much to say about this other than, yeah, it's
the
kind of
episode's
messed
named
up.
after the TV show. Yeah, the actor who plays the creepy guy, he's also the creepy doctor in season 1, episode 18, Something Wicked. That's where the doctor's like taking the kids and all the kids are getting sick.
Oh,
And they have
yeah.
that creepy hand. But yeah, it's always fun to see Dean though playing dad to random kids. Very good
Well, I think
paternal figure.
he has
Feels
the paternal
responsible.
instincts way more than Sam does, which
Because
I
he
like
raised
that
them.
dynamic. Well, yeah, because I
Mhm.
like that dynamic because Sam's always the one who wanted a family, whereas Dean's the one who never has. He's just naturally better at it. And I like that switch up between them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sweet to see. Okay, episode 19, Taxi Driver.
Episode 19, Taxi Driver. The next task to close the gate of hell is to rescue a soul from hell and take them to heaven. Well, this is where Bobby gets to come back into play because Bobby's in hell. It's a purgatory adjacent, so they get Sam into hell, and then they go back through purgatory when Sam's ride is killed because Crowley finds out what's going on. But fear not, our favorite vampire is here because enter Benny, who comes to help
Hate this
Dean,
scene.
and Dean has to kill his friend, who then rescues Sam and Bobby, but refuses to leave with them. Bobby goes to heaven with the help of Naomi. I absolutely devastated at this because not only do we get to have Bobby back for a brief second, we get the end of Benny, who again, just a pure soul, man. He's like, Dean, this world ain't for me, man. Like, I just want to go out doing something, knowing I helped somebody. They're never going to stop hunting me. I'm never going to live a peaceful life. And so he gets stuck in purgatory essentially at the end, which allows Sam to and Bobby to get back out.
Yeah.
And then when Bobby's on his way to heaven, he gets trapped, his little white spirit there, and then eventually gets released because Crowley traps him. He's like, not so fast, buddy. And then Bobby gets to go to heaven, where we get to see more heaven Bobby, which that plays into season 10 a little bit when we get there. I'll talk, but
Yeah, that's why when people are like sad Bobby dies, I'm like, well, not Robert Singer. Jim Beaver is not going anywhere, guys.
comes back, obviously.
But yeah, I hate this too, especially because like Sam finally does trust Benny after seeing what Benny did. But at the same time, like Benny might not have stayed back if Dean had been there more so for him.
Yeah.
And like been able to help him. And he says, when you come back, things are going to be different. And I wish they had been. I wish we had gotten more Benny stuff. There is, I can't say it yet. There's something in season 15 I want to say that I can't say. So the only fun fact I have for this is the bumper sticker on the taxi driver's car says, "How's my driving? Call 1-555, go to hell."
Nice. Yeah, let's go in episode 20, man. Pac-Man fever. Sam isn't doing the best due to the trials. He's starting to get sick. He's wearing down. This is where Charlie comes back in with some weird info on killings. So her and Dean go to check them out after a montage of her very much trying to pick what suit to wear to these FBI montages. She's not doing very good at it. And
She's
turns
doing
out
fantastic.
it's a Jin, but the son of the lady at the hospital is the bad guy. And in the end, Sam has to help out as Charlie is stuck in a video game wearing a badass eye patch. And Dean shows up in his sexy uniform. End quote. Lauren.
So fun facts. Charlie refers to her din-induced video game dream as, quote, an infinite loop like Pac-Man without level 256, end quote. It is an allusion, as in the episode title, to the iconic arcade game and its final unbeatable level, which is where the title comes from, and its 1981 pop song by Buckner and Garcia. Ooh. Another fun fact. Dean introduces himself, and Charlie says his FBI Special Agent Hicks and Ripley from Alien. And my last fun fact is when Charlie caught the shouts Wilhelm scream, which is in a reference to actually the famous stock sound effect used in hundreds of movies, including Star Wars.
Yeah, this was a fun episode. Again, you get to see badass Charlie with her eye patch mowing people down in the game. And this is, Dean tries to convince
about
her,
her mom.
Yeah, he's like, look, I know you this because she goes and her mom passes away in this one, right? Like finally succumbs. Yeah,
she goes and pulls the plug.
It's very emotional, man. It is. It's like it's a fun episode, but they don't shy away from pulling. They bring the punch, and it's when Charlie has to say goodbye to her mom, which is something she's been putting off. She's been sending money to her to take care of her mom. Is what they find out because they were like, Charlie's hiding something, man. What's up? Turns out it's her mom. And it's a very emotional ending to the episode. I thought it was very well done. Let's roll into episode 21, The Great Escapist. We meet the biggest dick ever, Metatron. I fucking hate Metatron.
We all hate Metatron.
Know why we hate Metatron? Because he also played Booster in Jingle All the Way, and nobody likes you, Booster.
And he's from Revenge of the Nerds. I think he was a dick in that too.
He helps get Kevin, but he's still an a-hole. We learn he is the scribe of God. Sam's meanwhile losing it, and Cass is hiding in different Biggersons to keep the tablet safe, which he then fails. I don't have much on this episode other than I hate Metatron, so there's that.
That's fair. The title's named after the movie, the Steve McQueen World War II classic, The Great Escape from 1963. That's all I got. Yeah, fuck Metatron.
Yeah. Episode, well, he's like in his big books and he does, I don't want to do anything. I've been sitting here this whole time. And they're like, what the hell? You've been here this whole time? What the hell, man?
And this is his least dickiness that he acts, I feel
like. It only goes up from here. Yeah. Episode 22, The Clip Show. Sam and Dean learn that the last trial is to cure a demon. So they try to figure out how to do that trial. And to get them to stop, Crowley starts killing victims that Sam and Dean have saved from previous jobs, including the cute girl from the creepy little girl in the painting case that Sam liked. Metatron tricks Castiel, and they begin the trials to close the gates to heaven. This is also the episode where they stupidly put Abaddon's head back on. She escapes, setting up the plot for season 10. Now, they are stupid because they could have, they left knowing her hand's going to crawl out and Abaddon's going to get stupid. Like, how dumb are they? They're like, oh, don't go anywhere. Oh, she's got no hands. Well, her hand's all go festering its way around. Stupids.
Well, why else would he need to get the Mark of Cain?
Yeah, stupid. Anyways.
Fun fact. Yeah. So the title of the episode is named for a classic TV episode format. In a traditional clip show, the writers use throwaway plot to remind viewers of past episodes. However, here they use clips to remind people and move the plot forward.
Yeah.
I like that they like call themselves out for like, look, this is a cliche.
They're self-aware, man. Yeah.
Very probably the most self-aware show there is.
But
and now our finale.
Abaddon's on the loose. Sam's starting the trials. We're going into the finale, which is called Sacrifice. We then capture Crowley to finish the trials. They're going to bring him back because they're going to inject him with holy blood, the blood of the pure. And this is when it's actually funny because Crowley, this is the start of his like softiness. And usually actually,
I know.
It's great. I love soft Crowley. Cass and Metatron continue the trials to close the gates of heaven. When Dean learns the trials will kill Sam, he tries to stop him, which he eventually does. And at the end, all of the angels are now falling from heaven because Metatron has tricked Cass. This sets up the asshole that is Metatron. The angels are falling to earth. All hell has not broken loose has broken
Heaven
loose.
has.
Heaven's broken loose. The angels are pissed. They don't know what's going on. Metatron's going to steal Cass's grace, and it's just going to spiral from there, and it doesn't end. And Crowley is the shining diamond in this because, yes, folks, he knows what it's like to have feelings and be a human, and I love that version of Crowley so much.
I love when he's like, you don't know what it's like to be human. We get some
starts to cry.
It's so funny because I love when Dean goes demon. I think that's like so like, oh my goodness. And I love when Crowley goes soft. So it's like you need that in between, I feel like. This is the first finale without Bobby, which is interesting. So the season 1 finale of Arrow in 2012 also aired the same date as this did, and it was titled Sacrifice as well. Therefore, CW aired 2 shows with the same title back to back that night. And next season, Castiel loses his V card.
Oh, yeah, he does. I'm actually surprised. I remembered most of this back half of the season.
You really did. That one episode, you were just like not even reading the notes.
It clicked. I don't know what happened, but it finally clicked, folks. I did it. Season 8. I was really invested in season 8. I did like it. I do like Crowley a lot. He's probably my favorite character aside from Dean in all of Supernatural, which I feel like is very reasonable and fair. Yeah. And yeah, man, like I have taken a vast hiatus from Supernatural. I am almost done with season 10. This might have sparked me to get back into it. I don't know. I'm going to watch it. There's been a lot going on. However, what you can do for us is to follow. Make sure if you want more Supernatural content, push me, bully me. Bullying sometimes is necessary and bullying sometimes works. So bully me into watching the rest of Supernatural if you've liked this. Drop a review. Make sure you follow us because we have Cantina Hours coming up. We have a lot of cool creator. It's coming on, man. We got a lot of comic books to talk about. And as always, there's a lot of movies getting ready to come out. We're going to be going into Star Wars month soon. So the only way to know what's going on, follow us. This has been Supernatural Season 8. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We will see you guys next time. Hey, just make sure, watch out. Not every good Metatron has a good thing behind him. Don't trust those angels. Remember that.
Angels are dicks.
Exactly. Cheers.